Stefanie Grace is with us from Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, and she has an incredibly powerful journey, an incredibly powerful story to share with you today. And I'm just going to let her take it over, do a little bit of self-introduction, and share with you a little bit about that journey and how she can help you if you're struggling in some of those same areas. So Stefanie, take it away.
Thank you very much. So good morning from my side and happy International Women's Day to all of you who are listening, who are joining and also watching the replay. I'm Grace. I'm from Austria, currently traveling and in Bangkok. And I have experienced a lot of difficulties around weight, eating and body image challenges. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. Also, the overall topic will be how to create sustainable habits and eating habits and movement habits, because this is something I realize a lot of women are struggling with. And so when it comes to our daily life, we are quite busy, especially when we are running a business, or not even only a business. If we have like our daily job and maybe family besides, we have a relationship or not, we have a dog maybe. So there is just a lot on our plate. And a lot of times it feels that time is running out. There is no time to do the healthy habits. There's no time to go to the gym. There's no time to start a morning routine. Then again, there is no time maybe to really prepare a good and whole full meal. And then we end up having these challenges around food. For example, emotional eating, snacking throughout the whole day. Or we trying to eat healthy the first half of the day, and then in the evening we end up overeating. Instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, we end up on the couch overeating, or eating a pack of chips, or eating the cookies, and it's so frustrating. And whenever this is happening, we end up beating ourselves up. There is saying like, oh, again, you haven't done it perfectly, you haven't done it right. Again, you failed with doing your habit. You really wanted to go to the gym. Again, you did not, and you did exactly the opposite. And these are all challenges I really experienced myself, and I know how frustrating it can be. It makes you feel so lost and helpless. And so what I want to share first of all is really that this is not your fault. This is not a lack of willpower or discipline. And there are ways how we can change this, how we can go out of this and suddenly make more freedom, make more time for following different habits, different movement habits, or really slowing down with food. And before I hop into really talk about what we can do, I want to talk about why this is happening. And these are topics I can talk for hours about, but I'm going to compromise it really in this couple of minutes I have with you. So first of all, when we think about a stressful situation or stressful thoughts, our body is going into a stress response, which is the fight or flight response. And in this mode, our body is full of cortisol. And cortisol is #1 stress hormone. It's a super important one, actually. But we are in a constant stress response because of our plate, which is so full throughout the day, and with our thoughts like, okay, I should eat that, I should do that, I should not do this. So this is a self-chosen stress response, and our body does not know the difference if this is a self-chosen stress response or a real threat. So it will create the cortisol. The cortisol is doing exactly that we are thinking that time is running out, and this is super important. If you think about back in the days where we all were hunter-gatherers and you're running away from a predator. If the cortisol is not telling you that time is running out, you will look at your watch and say like, oh, I have time, I don't have to run so fast. But translating this into our daily life now. We have like different appointments, and for every appointment we feel like, oh shit, time is running out, I have to run, I have to go. And this is creating again more stress. So we are trapped in this vicious cycle of stress. And another thing how stress is impacting your metabolism is that stress is actually telling your body to not build muscle, to store fat, and to lower down the calorie burning capacity. And then we feel lethargic, we feel sluggish and tired, and kind of like, oh, my diet is not working, and I'm already doing something, and it's like I feel like I'm only gaining weight. And again, this is trapping the vicious cycle. Another one, which is what the cortisol is doing, is, or let's say not the cortisol, like the stress itself, is that when you are eating in a stress response, let's say, and it was for me a lot of times like this, that I'm between my studies or also during my working days already, I'm like, okay, I make sure that I'm gonna get a meal in, and I rushed to the kitchen and prepared the healthiest food. And I was really proud of, okay, I managed to do a healthy food. And then I sit down and eat it. And then you already have to go to the next appointment. So again, I had already the stress response in my mind. Even though I sat down, there was a stress response. And when you eat, the body is scanning the meal, and it's looking for all the different nutrients. It's looking for pleasure and enjoyment. And if you are in a stress response, the body is not sensing this pleasure. And then you end up again with your body screaming for more food. And so you eat the whole food, and it was really good. It was actually maybe like you had from everything something, but the body did not have time to process it. So it says like, I didn't feel that we had a good meal. I wanted more. And what we want more is always the quick fix. It's like the chocolate, the chips. And then again, we're trapped in this vicious cycle. So this cannot go on like this. This is like, I have experienced it myself, and there's so many women I'm working with, and it's just not sustainable. It's, it makes you feel just lost. And so what you can do is really, the first thing is to slow down. And I know this seems, especially when it comes to women in business, it kind of feels like a joke. And because they're like, yeah, but I have to do those things. Yes, absolutely. And I'm not saying like you have to cancel half of your appointments, but what you can do is to calming yourself down. Because as soon as we do this, as soon as we are managing to really say, okay, we can do this, but we don't have to rush it. So our body is not in the self-chosen stress response because of your thoughts. Suddenly you look at the watch, and it's not already 5 p.m. It's only 5 p.m. and I still have the evening in front of me. And this is such a beautiful change, which can happen by just slowing down with your breath, being more present, more conscious by the things you are doing. And this really means like how you pick up your glass, how you put down your pen. Are you doing it in a rush? Is it always like fight or flight? Or are you present in your body here in this moment? And with that, the embodiment practice comes in, because we can only be as present as we in our life, as present as we are in our body. And a stress response is kind of disconnecting us from our body. And you probably have realized this, or have experienced this already, like how beneficial a yoga class can be, a short meditation, or just taking 10 deep breaths in and out, or walking in nature. It slows down. And the embodiment practice is really slowing down your life. And with that, the cortisol is lowering, and then everything is falling in the right direction. And so another thing which I want to share with you is with the food as well. Like, so I was talking about eating healthy the whole day, and then eating, overeating in the evening, or binge eating in the evening. This is, again, also not your fault. It's a logical response of the body, because a lot of times and I really say like, it's never like one size fits all. We are so individual, but a lot of times it's the reason is that you are trying to eat healthy the whole, let's say from the morning, maybe you skip even breakfast, and then you eat a little salad in the afternoon, in the lunch, and then in the evening you overeat. This is a reaction from the body because it has experienced a caloric deficit throughout the day. So it's actually just asking for more food. But because we have these expectations in our mind that one salad a day or this healthy snack in the afternoon should be okay, the body is not. The body feels it's starving, and it will ask for food because it wants to survive. So again, it's just a logical survival response of ourselves. But as long as we start beating ourselves up, we just putting ourselves again in the stress response, and the whole cycle continues. So when we go back to the topic of how to create these healthy habits now, how to create this patterns which are really sustainable. First thing really is that show up for yourself and don't put yourself second. So your health needs to be prioritized. You can't fill others' cups if you don't fill up your own cup first. And by that, really make an appointment with yourself. Set a date for this breakfast with you. Set a date or a time, an appointment really with your lunch break. And show up for yourself as you would do for others. If you have an appointment with a doctor or with a business partner, you will show up for that because you're a responsible woman. And this is the thing, like, especially when it comes to women in business, we have managed all of these things. Like we managed finances, our business life and everything. And then it comes to food and we feel out of control. And it comes to healthy habits for our body and we feel out of control. A lot of times this is because we're not prioritizing ourselves and putting others first and ourselves second. So really make an appointment with you and then show up for yourself. Show up on the mat in the morning. Show up for your dinner, for your lunch, for your morning breakfast. And another thing is start slow. Start with simply easy steps, which you can really do on a daily basis, and not like saying, okay, from now on, I'm gonna start doing 1 hour of yoga every morning. This will be so out of your comfort zone if you're not doing this right now. Obviously, like there are women who are doing this already. There might be like, okay, adding another hour would be too much out of the comfort zone. So you want to find the sweet spot, going out of the comfort zone just a little bit so that it feels still doable, but still like a challenge. And as long as you feel the challenge, you know you're growing. If the challenge is too big, you most likely will run back to where you were. And so start small, start with easy steps, adding one each day, and maybe you start with a meditation routine. So start with 2 minutes, then go on like a couple of days with 3, with 4, with 5. And this is how you really step by step increase. And then super important, and I think this is one of the most important things, is let go of self-punishment, let go of self-judgment. Because as I said, like there are so many logical and scientific proven reasons why we're doing what we're doing. So it's never like you're just out of control or you're undisciplined or you're weak or you have no willpower, because you've proven in your business probably a lot of times you have willpower. But still we are punishing ourselves. And whenever you do this, start thinking, would you talk with a child like this? Would you talk with your partner, with your friend, with anyone you care for, with anyone you love like this? Like saying, oh, you haven't managed doing your healthy habits now you have to skip dinner. No, you would not do that. So really let go of the self-blame, self-judgment, of this fear and this guilt and shame. And again, it sounds super easy when I say this, and I know it's not, because when we are in this thinking wheel, it's really hard to get out of it. But again, this is happening when you're in a stress response. So whenever you catch yourself in this situation, slow down. And yeah, so as I said, like I could really go on like this forever. I love these topics. These are topics who had changed my entire life and many of my clients' lives already. So yeah, if you are experiencing one of these challenges around eating, around food, around your body image, feel free to reach out to me and talk with me. I also offer free discovery calls where we really can talk about your situation, because as I said, no size fits all. We have all our different stories. We have all our different backgrounds and situations, but there is always a root cause. And what I am always doing whenever I work with the woman I'm helping, I help them to really go to the root cause, to find the reason why we do the patterns we do, or how we want to change it. And through that, we can really make peace with our own body and create a loving and healthy relationship with food. And yeah, so I'm really hoping that you could take something away from this talk. And yeah, if there's something I can really, like, maybe one last thing what I want to share is, ask yourself whenever you feel like snacking, binge eating, overeating, or eating just in general, what am I really hungry for? Am I really hungry for the food? Or like, is this a physical hunger? Or am I hungry for time, for relationships, for connection, for rest? And when it comes to the movement habits, ask yourself, why do I want to do this? Go back to your reason why. And yeah, with these two questions, I want to end my time here in this talk with you, and also end the day of the presentations from today. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Of course. I just as you were talking, so much started to make sense, because even last night, my husband got up, got the toaster oven out, and he said, why am I always so hungry at night? And you answered it, and now I can go home and tell him. Because we do. We have a really healthy breakfast. We have, steel cut oatmeal with walnuts and apples, and we're feeding ourselves this nutritional meal. But even just sitting here, these wonderful Fitbits or, Apple Watches that we wear, they tell us, like, chill the F out, man. You're stressing out. Just because my internet went out and I had to bolt to a Starbucks, coffee shop, my heart rate shot straight through the roof. It went up to 150. And it's not acceptable. It's really not, there's no reason, like, everything was going to be fine. There's no reason why I was stressing myself out so much. It's fine. Yeah. And then as well, the consciousness that you kept talking about, I think a lot of people are kind of scared of that word because they don't know what it means. They think it's this magical word and they get scared of it. And it really is as simple as, in this moment, where are my ankles touching? Right? Yeah. Absolutely. I can feel skin on skin when I touch my hands together. It's just being aware of everything around you in the moment that you're in, staying present and not outside. I go outside and commune with the trees all the time. I'm that hippy dippy lady who loves to hug trees, because I find that it's magical. There's a true stress release that happens when you're able to spend time in nature. And so taking that time out is so important. So thank you for everything that you shared. It was so valuable. And I hope you get an enormous response from people just to follow you, because you have such a wealth of knowledge to share with the world. And you're right. From metabolism, I've been I've been through 13 personal trainers. I've been on diet since I was 7 years old. Like, I know some stuff about nutrition and movement. But you just taught me something new about my metabolism. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom, and happy International Women's Day from way across the pond. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful evening, and thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I did check to see if anybody had any questions on Facebook, and there weren't any. But I am going to place the replay in our events in the group, and people can visit there to access those more easily.
Absolutely, yeah. And they can always reach me on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me also there.
Excellent.
So,
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Likewise.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.